All right, so you mentioned no one was open. It wasn't necessarily Brock's fault. 3 points. What did you think of Kyle Shanahan? He had no answers. He couldn't put together a drive until the fourth quarter, and then he couldn't finish it. He went to the double reverse flea flicker in the second quarter. I mean, he seemed desperate. What did you think? This was the worst I've seen from Kyle.
You know, the thing about, since 2017, it was his worst offensive production, I think. The bottom line is you've got to have your go-to passes to which you can call to be able to get the offense back in sync, to get it rolling a bit, to get the quarterback back in rhythm. And where are the option routes to Kittle or to CMC, where even a 5-yard gain on first down throwing the ball, but no need to drop back and have everyone 18 to 20 yards down the field on 1st and 10. There were times that Brock drops back and looks around. There was not a receiver available within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. They were all further down the field. And then you'd see one guy over here on the right side, way off to the right, running a little juke route or whatever. And the guy was blanketed because there's only one underneath the receiver. Kyle needs to find a way to, with that scheme that Seattle was going to play, the same scheme that Philadelphia is going to play, you got to have some nickel and dime passes in your offense. You got to have completions. You've got to understand I've got to live with some 4 and 5 yard catches and runs after the catch, rather than trying to hit 15, 17, 18, 22 yard passes, because I don't have the weapons to be able to make those plays convert for me, because the receivers can't get there quick enough and the offensive line can't hold up all day while the guy's jogging down the field with a 4.7, 4.8 speed to get to 20, 22 yards.
One of the reasons the Niners, I'll say excuses. One of the excuses the Niners have given for why they performed so poorly in this game is they said, well, it was their second short week in a row. They had a 6-day week against the Bears, then they had a 6-day week against the Seahawks, and they decided not to have any full practices in those 2 weeks. They only did walkthroughs in those 2 weeks. So we asked Clay Kubiak today, who's not defensive like Kyle is, and he was like, yeah, it's possible. We wanted to keep our players' legs fresh, but it's possible that the timing and the rhythm and the passing game in particular was compromised because we didn't practice for 2 weeks. So is that a valid excuse? I mean, obviously they probably should have practiced. I know that the Seahawks did, but if you don't practice for 2 weeks, what are the effects?
Well, your timing is going to be off a little bit, but let me tell you this. You can get guys together off the bus and go down and throw some 5 and 6 yard patterns, to get completions. You may not be effective throwing the ball 20, 22, 25, 28 yards down the field because of the timing with the receivers, but to throw it underneath stuff and to throw some checkdowns and to get some completions, so that you can put yourself in a better down and distance situation to where maybe your running game can help you a little bit more. You got to be able to have some 5 and 6 yard passes in your offense. They need to have some spot passes. They need to have, some aspect of the quick game. Also, they need to have a way to be able to play action and then check down off of it with the guy underneath if the linebackers are bailing to take away the in route at 15 to 17 yards. But, you can't be greedy all the time and think about getting big chunk passes, especially against the defensive schemes that Seattle and Philadelphia play. I'm sorry, it's not there.
Yeah. It's not there. And I think that's why Kyle Shanahan, to me, is not the best. When he goes up against the best defensive coordinators, like Fangio, like McDonald, like Spagnuolo, and they don't give up those big chunk plays, and Kyle has to go slowly down the field, he doesn't have the patience for it. He doesn't have the playbook for it. It's not what he does well. He is good at getting chunk plays, and if he can't get them, then he's going to have a bad day.
Well, that's why you have to have, your repertoire has to include, it's like this. You can't have, not every entree in your meal can be prime rib and steak. Somewhere along the line, you got to have some vegetables, you got to have some potatoes, you got to have some peas, you got to have some salad, you got to, you just cannot think about the 5-star Michelin, menu
Yeah.
all the time. You got to have some other stuff to get you through the game, and that's where Kyle's lacking.
So this is a veggies and berries game plan.
I tell you what, I would start off thinking, okay, I got to get completions. I got to get the confidence back in our offense. Okay. They obviously have no offense and no confidence after that ball game the other night on Saturday. So now I've got to start my game off with some kind of confidence builder and allow some success on Sunday against the Eagles and then build from there.
Yeah, because if they start the game 3 and out, it'll be like, here we go again.